building. High priestess in the building, didn't let my fears kill me. Transmuting my pain in that cleanse in the rain. Down out, I was working and I conquered my demons. I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became. And I think a lot of people can get inspired of just following their heart, because I feel like you're just following your heart in everything you do. So let's talk a little bit about your spiritualist and the spirituality. What exactly what does
Yeah,
that,
so
what does that
my
mean?
spiritual journey has been very different. I know I've learned that I was pushing to my spiritual journey to get me to these next levels and to get me out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways. Um, y'all know me if you have seen me before. Me and spirit, we be fighting. So I as of recently, well, some months ago, I had pulled back from doing the readings and stuff like that, only because I was battling with some things with myself.
Right.
And I needed to refine who Kadija is and what she really supposed to be doing. So with my spiritual journey, I've learned that um once again I'm not limited, and I started realizing that like I had became so dependent on these cards for my spiritual gift, and I had realized like, dang, this stuff is so instilled in me where I tried to block it out for these past months, and even like certain stuff would be happening where I'd be talking to people and they'd be like, what? How? And I just say it and I just go away, because I've really learned that
Right.
my relationship with spirit and who God wants me to be, spirit, God, whoever it is to you, is way more than anything on this physical earth. And I literally had to be stripped away from everything that I felt. Literally what I'm learning is I've been stripped away from everything that I held on to that made me feel like it was going to help me elevate. And
Right.
everything if I held on to it too tight and then realize my bigger purpose in everything, it gets snatched away. So,
Right.
so my
Right.
spiritual journey has been, it's never ending. It's never ending. It's never ending.
I don't think it is. I think that's the beauty of it. It's there's always these levels. I call it levels. There's all these levels, and you get to one and you think you got it all packed and squared away, and then spirit's like, "Oh no, that was just that level. Here goes the
We're going
next one." Right. It's like, okay, you're not done. And I think there's a lot of misconception, because when you first come in, people make it seem a certain way, but we know that's the bunch of the bullshit gurus and people selling quick spiritual fixes and all of that stuff. Because this is a your personal journey. I don't think spirituality is a team effort as much as people are out here. And I think I'm going to talk about that on probably another podcast, but it is a personal journey. It's your journey. It's who you're finding, and who you are goes into that. And I think people forget that, because a lot of people in spirituality are trying to find their spirit, but it's like it intertwines with who you came to be in this life. Your identity is a huge part of this, which I think people don't even realize. They're like, wait, what? You know, I laugh now at a lot of the people, because the people that are out, they're 5D people, and everybody's in 5D and no one's in the 3D, and it's like, you're still a person here. You're still in this body. You still have this identity for a reason. You can't forget that.
Yes.
So I believe I do too understand the fact of getting dependent on the cards, because after a while spirit will start fucking with you through those cards. If you don't know, if you guys don't know about tarot cards, spirit will actually start to fuck with you in those cards, and then your readings are all over the fucking place, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, wait, what are you telling me? You just told me this. Like, what are you telling
What?
me? What is this message?
Mm-hmm. Because we be trying to do it our own way. I'm telling you, like literally
Mhm.
do it our own way.
Yeah. So not only that, just coming up with everything that you're doing, but then you hit this fashion show, and I was like, you start modeling, and I'm like, what happened? Where did this come from?
Right. So once again, that's the spiritual journey. Like you start to find out things about yourself. It makes you reach deeper. So one day randomly I just had this feeling and I was just like, I always try to go back to the child me because
Mhm.
it's that untouched part. So it was like, dang, I got to a place where I was like, what is my dream? Like, what is my dream? Like I said, everything being stripped away, and I'm just like, what is my dream? Like, so one day I had just decided to go to an audition. I didn't get put in the show, but it was like, okay, so is you gonna let that stop you, or is that you gonna let this keep making you push? And I'm like, no, this is a dream. I'm gonna do it. So I pushed forward for with it, and I ended up landing like my first fashion show, and it just
Mhm.
blossomed something deeper in me. But what I also learned is like, once again, I'm thinking I'm here just to be cute, be a model, and like really, spirit was heading me in another direction. Because now people like,
Mhm.
where are your modeling pictures? I'm like, I'm still doing it, but like some of these things just be puzzle pieces to getting you to the next step. So it'd be like, now I'm modeling. Now people like, wait, you ain't doing no fashion shows right now? It's like, no, because it's like now I didn't hit another wall where I'm like, okay, I know this is where I'm supposed to be, but what do you want me to do with this period? Because I'm not about to just be going to fashion shows and fashion shows. Like, just, I know it's a hobby, but I gotta live too. So
Right, right,
modeling, that's one of those things I had to tap into, that it was always a dream when I was younger, but tapping into it also just hit like, it just gave me this different level of confidence that I didn't realize I needed. And
mm,
it just put my head, it made my head higher. Like, I don't know if that sounds, it just put me in a different space that I didn't even
right,
realize. And it made me like smell myself enough to leave my husband. And like, not in a
right,
way, not in a way to be like, F you, man, I'm a model now. It was in a way of, girl, do you see who you are? Girl, do you see your
right,
worth? So it was like spirit through me modeling. I personally feel like, because I needed to see, I knew that I was a beautiful girl. I knew that, but I needed to bring it out in a different way, because we
right,
constantly remember that it's okay to change ourselves. It's okay to reinvent yourself. I'm not gonna be the same Kadija from last year or the year before. So busy, we be like, oh no, ain't nobody gonna change me. No, you have to recreate yourself to
yep,
elevate.
yep,
So I figured out like, oh, spirit got me in this place to elevate. Then I connect with certain people. You get little messages from certain people. I end up running into this girl who was like my sister. I call her my sister in the modeling world. And I literally just maybe about 2-3 months ago, I said, oh wow, I went through all these people, all these modeling people to meet her. And we didn't
mhm,
even know, like, some stuff you don't know where spirit leading you, but if you just
right,
don't take your path with nobody else noise in the background, it just be leading you places. So modeling is definitely my baby. It's something I wanted to do since I was a child. It made
okay.
me and my girls closer. Me and my girls was modeling together. We do modeling together.
Uh-huh, I saw that.
Yes, and it's something that really brought joy to us. And
Right,
now in the process of, we want to do our own shows. We want to set our own modeling shows. So that's the next step. Me and my friend doing classes, and we want to get to the point where we're doing our own fashion shows so we can
right.
put our standard on the world.
I I love it. I love it. The whole thing is networking.
Yeah.
When you're networking in different avenues, you meet different people. And sometimes what I've seen is you'll meet people and maybe don't understand the whys when you meet them, but later on then those puzzle pieces that you talk about will start to fit together. And you're like, oh shit, this person
Yeah.
knows this. And that person knows that, and that person is in that industry, and oh shit, and it's just down the line of, oh man, like creating that not catalog, but creating that phone book list basically of people and network of what
Yes.
you're going to do. Hmm.
No matter what, we do need each other. Like, we need each other. It literally. And then like modeling led me into, well, I've always been a writer, but modeling, because that I opened up that, like, that artist in me, and I made sure I keep developing. It threw me back into writing. So
Right,
then writing threw me into, oh shoot, I think I want to do my own poetry event. So then that birthed Poetic Erotica with my partner Jay,
right,
and um, it's just so never ending. That's why I'm just like, I keep saying, like, I gotta be on the right path. Even on the hard days, it's like I must be on the right path, because stuff is just
right.
aligned. But life still be life, and
mean, but that's a part of it, the whole thing is the journey. Everyone is focused on the destination, right? Most people are focused on when I get there. When I get there, everything's going to be okay. But the biggest pieces of your journey are the everyday, everything that you're doing, every experience, every person you talk to. And I was going to say about that because I remember when you started doing reading some of your poems and stuff on like TikTok and stuff. How did that feel? Because me also as a fellow writer, putting your stuff out there is huge.
It's so huge. And people like, with dealing with TikTok and stuff, you really have to be strong in what
Oh yeah.
who you are and what you want, because the likes don't be adding up. And you be like, I know my stuff is legit. Like, y'all got me messed up,
Right.
but that just goes back to being comfortable with who you are, and just knowing that long as it touched that one person, or long as it healed me, like, it's released. And
Right.
like, you just got to understand that you are going to attract who's for you. So just because they don't bite it don't mean, and then just because people don't like it don't mean they not watching. Because I'm telling you, people be like,
Right.
I'm seeing you, and I always hit them like, what, you don't like my shit?
Right.
But cool. Like,
Right. Knowing damn well they watching this shit. It takes
man,
nothing to hit the like
it,
button.
it matters so much to us. Like, as creators, it matters so much to us. But it's cool. We know we on the right path. We just gonna let y'all be spectators, I guess.
Right. I tell people all the time, it's like, I get that you guys are watching and you're silently watching and, whatever, whatever. But yeah, those comments and likes are everything. That little emoji, just that little emoji will do everything for someone that you like. If you're watching their shit, that means you like their shit. Right? Like, stop and just do that. And I'm just always trying to tell people that, like, look, support your people. I think that's one of the biggest ones that we all realize at that point of like, we're not going to have the support that we need in the stuff that we're doing, especially in the beginning. Most people come after like, oh shit, like when
Right.
they really doing some shit. I hate that it's like that though. I will say that pisses me off that people wait until they think you're doing so good and it's where they can try to get in on your success. I do think that's a culture shit that we have to change and be those ones. Again, it takes nothing to share your friend's post, to share your friend's business. We talk about this shit all the time. I feel like there's certain women that are strong and confident in themselves and can help build each other up. But there are so many women out here that are so fucking insecure. They won't share your shit out to save their life. And it's just one of those things I'm always like, think about that. If that's you and you think about yourself and you see somebody's shit, you don't share it out, you don't like it, why? Ask yourself the whys behind that, because we should be able to truly be like supportive with each other and help each other. But that lack mindset that there's not enough, like we all got to be in competition, it's like, no, we don't.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
No. So I mean, every time I come across yours, I'm always liking your
Yes, I appreciate it
post.
too. Thank you. Thank you.
I have to. I'm a supporter and I support those who support me also. I don't just support the people who don't support me. So if you're someone, and it's not to be petty, but if you're someone who don't ever like my shit or share my shit out, don't expect me to share your
Like,
shit out.
I'm just saying, like, I
My
don't like.
daughter told me, she was like, but isn't that a little petty? And I was like, no, it's not petty because
Because
I know you see my shit.
yeah, you have to. It's and that's something I've been learning too. It's very, very important. You have to be careful where you place your energy,
Yeah,
because you end up being frustrated with yourself. Like, dang, I'm giving this person so much and they give me nothing. Like, you shouldn't be in that place of confliction with yourself. So if I got to be conflicted with supporting you, I ain't gonna do it. I'm
right,
not.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, especially if you know you're a big supporter and if you know you're a big person who networks, then you're not going to you're going to look at things a little bit differently about, okay, who I share that energy, who I'm putting that time in, and then the time that I do have, which is limited, I'm gonna focus on the people who support me. But yeah, I agree on the time I do have, my time is limited. So I feel like when I'm on social media and I'm taking a little moment to kind of try to share the love, I'm a share it with the people who mean, you know what I mean? Like there's a meaning behind that, because it's like, why just be liking people's shit just for nothing? It's like, yeah, no. It's kind of sad the way things are. But I just hope more people start to switch out of that and find that, to get out of the jealousy, get out of the bullshit, and be more supportive of their friends and family.
For real.
If you'll spend that, shit, $40 on a shirt that, some name brand person, but you won't spend $40 for your friend that's making a shirt.
Crazy.
I just don't understand stuff like that. I'm like, what? you know? But now I wanted to talk a little bit about just your, because you were with your husband a while. You guys were together for since you were young,
Yes,
right?
I was with him since I was 15 years old. Man, we was together for a long time. We was together at least for like 15 years, married for 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
We even had our vows renewed on the 7th year. And
Mm,
um, sometimes you just hold on for so long and you try to make things work because once again, you got society, you got people, people watching. And I really loved him. Like that was my person, for all I knew, like that's who I was spending the rest of my life with. But once again, as we learn and we grow and you start to realize that everything doesn't have to be for a lifetime like they make it seem. Some things are for lessons, some things just come to make you stronger. And I kind of overstayed in that position because I loved him, even though right now he don't feel like I love him the way I left. But
of
I have
course.
to love me and my kids enough to be like, this is not healthy.
Right.
When we were younger, it was more so we were more so abusive towards each other. And then we kind of got over that phase. And as we got older, it just was more, I had learned to not be so combative. And then as we got older, it just became more verbal. And I just got to a point where my last week at that house, I just was like, we gonna kill each other. And
Yeah.
it's crazy to it's crazy to be with somebody that long and have to grow apart, but it was so many things happening where I just knew like, girl, if you stay here, you're not it's messed up to say it like this, but you're not gonna be nothing. Like
Mm,
you're not gonna be nothing. Your kids gonna be in these dark places forever. Like the house had become so dark. That's why like I couldn't even do readings there no more. Like I was introduced to my readings in the same house, but then it had came to a place where I couldn't even barely do readings in my own home because I had lost this level of peace. And people like, well, is y'all gonna work it out? Like, learn to when you know you need to leave somebody. Don't look for nobody else's opinions. Don't look
right.
for nobody else to justify why you leaving, why you doing it.
Right.
Just know that if you wear and it's conflicting with who you are and who you trying to be, it's time to go. And it was a hard place to be. But them last 2 days, I had no choice in the matter. I had even left, came back. I heard Spirit say 30 days. Give it 30 days. I was supposed to not go back, but I went back out of habit because you like, I need his help. I got all these 4 kids with him. Like, I need him in my mind. I needed him. So I went back. Not even a whole 2 weeks later, I end up having to leave again. And Spirit was like
Mm,
30 days. Like, I heard it again. And I was so scared. Thankfully, I got the family, my sisters, they open arms. I wanted to go to a shelter. I didn't want to be no burden on nobody. Here in Detroit, no shelters was available. I only wanted the shelter because I'm a hairstylist and reporting income is hard. So I was like, if I can get in the shelter, I know I can get a place for me and my kids. The shelter
right.
just worked. I would call every day. No shelter was working. So lived with my sister for a minute. And like when I say when you decide to listen, like Spirit literally guides your steps because I even was working this
Mm,
job. I was still a hairstylist. I was working a night job because I was like, I need a paper trail. I need to be approved for a place. Even if we get a 2-bedroom, like we gonna make it work. I sleep in the front room.
right.
man, so I ended up getting to a place where the second job was so much for me. Like I had ended up leaving because my daughter was sick, and I quit the job, even though I knew I was supposed to have been quit the job. Like Spirit kept trying to show me, like, girl, I got you, but we see one things our own way. And I had quit
Right.
the because I was so tired. I even tried to go back to the job the next day and was like, I ended up couldn't find my keys. It was just everything was happening. And Spirit
Right.
kind of was trying to show me, like, you don't need that job. So then I'm just looking defeated, like, man. But eventually that next day when I kept hearing Spirit, like, you don't need that job. And I'm like, well, how am I gonna find a place? Like, I have to have a place.
Right.
So we cannot sleep in my sister's house no longer. So literally that day, literally like days before the 30 days, a couple of days before it, one of my clients walked in here and she was like, Kadija, I'm leaving my house. And I said, what house? And she was like, my family house. She was like, I moved into a condo. She was like, so I'm about to put it on the market and rent it out. I said, mind you, this the next day after I quit the job. I looked at her. I said, girl, I will rent your house. She was like, are you sure? She was like, she didn't know I had left my husband. And she was like, oh, that'd be so great. I wanted a, family to live in there. I said, wait. I said, I'm not with him no more, but I would love to rent your house. And she she was nervous because she didn't know about her neighbors. But I was thinking like this got to be God ordained because she was like she wasn't going to tell me, and I'm like, you did. And she told me to rent. I told her like, don't give me no favoritism. Like whatever you was going to put it on the market for, I will figure it out. Like I know Spirit got me. So
Right.
she gave me that house literally within that on that 30-day mark. I literally moved into that house. So that's why I'm like, sometimes we really, really want to see things our own way. And I just know like these past years since COVID, since I was pushed into my spiritual journey, every step of the way, like everything was on purpose by purpose because you can't tell me like somebody who I know if I was have to go, if she would have put that house on the market like she was going to, and I would have had to go through a leasing company, I wouldn't have been approved for that place. And it's just being it's
Right.
just feel like it's hard out here. So for me to be able to literally land, now mind you, I'm thinking I'm about to have to put my babies in a 2-bedroom, live in the living room, literally landed a 4-bedroom house with a basement, with a full yard for my kids to play in. The neighbors don't bother me. We ain't got no issues. Like literally camera systems around the house. The lady then gave me full furnished house. She didn't left beds in the house, stoves in the house, refrigerators.
Wow.
I need everything I needed, and I had told Spirit I needed, like Spirit already know, but I said it with my mouth just because sometimes Spirit like a little reassurance and
Right.
like literally all everything fell in line. So anybody listening to this who's going through anybody who's going through a crazy situation, or you need to make a choice and you know that your process, your growth is dependent on it, literally do it. When nobody else understands, just do it. I've had to even learn to like not even tell everybody my business. As much as I love to talk, so I don't mind. I'm real.
Yeah.
I tell you anything you want to know. People be like, "Well, what happened the last 2 days?" And I be like,
Right.
well, "This, and that." Like
Yeah.
it's but some stuff you just have to. Some things we have to do alone. And I knew like when I came to that place where I was like, "Yeah, I'm done." It didn't matter what nobody else had told me, said, try to push through. No, it was time to go. So when
Right.
you hear it, move. Like that's been my because it makes it worse for you. It makes
I
it worse.
mean, a lot of people stay for all the wrong reasons too. And that is the biggest main, one of the main things we deal in the tarot community is
Man,
love in relationships.
everybody know I hate
Love and relationships is like the biggest thing. And that's like the constant conversation, which, I do more guidance counseling than fucking tarot
it.
because of the constant. And it's a lot of it is all the wrong reasons to stay in a situation. And I get trying to get therapy, trying to get help, those
Mhm.
things, trying to work on it. I get all of that. But at some point, when do you say, you know what, maybe we've outgrown each other? Because a
Mhm.
lot of times evolution is going to happen. Some people don't want to change though. Some people don't want to grow. And a lot of us, I've talked about this on a lot of different podcasts about coming up from dysfunctional families. All of this shit that we think is right, after a while, if through healing and growth, you start to say this shit ain't normal. This isn't what life is supposed to be.
No.
You know?
People be staying for the children. They be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna stay because my kids, they need their father. When I tell y'all, my kids didn't need none of that, Like my kids literally, it was one point where he came back around because he only really interested in trying to be with me. He don't even care. Yeah, that part is a whole nother story. But my kids, they literally broke down because they thought I was gonna take their dad back. And I was like,
Mhm.
wait, why are y'all in here sad? What's happening? And my
Right.
son is transparent when he's like, well, Micaiah saw you outside talking to dad last night. So she thinking, and I'm like, oh no, like y'all don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But it was like, for so long, I stayed thinking like, oh, I need help with the kids. Oh, I need this or I need that. Not even, your mind plays so many tricks on you that you don't even realize like none of
Right.
it needed.
Right.
And my baby's like, they
The
so,
kids see it. The
yes,
kids see it. The kids are not oblivious. They
no,
feel it. They see it.
it's it.
Kids know when they are loved and
Mhm.
appreciated, and they feel it when it's not that. So to sit and make that excuse, like, because I did it too. I stayed with my daughter's father way longer than what I should have. It was just like, and then it was just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what? We
What?
we don't even like each other. Why are we together? What? So our kid can have both of us. I feel like that statement of, yeah, they do need their father, but the father has the opportunity to be in their life. You don't got to be with the father for the father to be a father.
Mm-mm.
You can
And
be
then,
a father to your children without being with the mom. You guys can co-parent. And I get so irritated with people who cannot co-parent because they would rather worry about the person versus the kids. And my daughter's father was like that too. He wasn't interested in being a father. He was
oh,
interested in my business.
and
So
that hurt.
yeah. So it would be like, you're not even calling for her, you calling to see what the fuck I got going on. And that was a big thing, even to this day. My daughter's 26. Do you think she has a relationship with her father?
No.
When he
And that,
does talk to her, guess who he asked about? You still asking what I'm doing.
that's crazy to me.
You not asking her what she likes to do, your fucking grandkids that you
Right.
have. Like,
Like, what?
you're not asking anything. You still
Don't
asking her how your mom's doing. What, that don't even fucking make no sense. But
know.
and I've seen this. And so women on our side then make that decision like, no, fuck that. You're not a father regardless. You're not stepping into your own shoes. And I look back at it like, I was okay being a mom without having to deal with the baby daddy all up in my shit, all up in my face. And I got to raise my daughter in the way that I felt to raise her. I just tell women, don't not let love back into your life
Ooh,
because
and that's
of
the hard
that.
because
Because
it's,
uh-huh.
it's, it's
Especially when the father is not in, because I know with me, I had this fear that another man would come in and she'd get used to him and he would break her heart,
bad.
and leave. And so I didn't want to break my daughter's heart like that. So you sacrifice love. But I'm like, no, that's not the way to go, because now, my daughter, my goddaughter, which I raised her, they're like, I never showed them what love looks like. They didn't learn that from me. I never showed them that. And I look back like, you know what? Damn. Maybe I should
And
have let love in. You
that
know?
place, it's such a hard place because, like you said, you can't. And when I left, I was like, F love. And
Right.
then
Right.
you can't be like that. Having male companion is it's nice, and I like dates. I like going out.
Right.
So, and on top of that, I've never been a single adult. So I left
Right.
like, ding, girl, you've never been in the world. Like you've never
Right.
teenager and I was married. Like I was a teenager. I had kids. I ain't never had life with no kids. I ain't never had life with no
Right.
man. Not no man. So I was like, okay, you're not gonna give up on love. And then even with that part, you still have to be very, very careful because you still healing.
Yeah.
And you tend to, they might not be just like the person you just left, but it's certain things where
Very close.
you still settle. Yeah, you still settle like, oh, it's okay if he lived with his mama. He's working on it. Like, sis, like, or
Right.
it's okay he in between jobs. He like, no, like, is this
Right.
the same patterns you was just dealing with? Don't
Right.
do it. Like, I find
Right.
myself I find myself, because I'm such a nurturer and I don't mind nurturing, and I had nurtured him for so long, I find myself like I have to stay away from the men who I'm like, oh, he don't got it all together, but like, no, this, like, no, he
Right.
don't want to put in the time, he don't want to put in the work. A guy recently was like, you're selfish, and I'm like, well, I don't know, like, you can call it what you want, but that's because you made a plan, you didn't continue on the plan, you made another plan, you didn't follow through on the plan. Call it what you want.
Right. Right.
Like, you have to learn. It's like a new level of learning yourself, because now I'm like learning myself in this dating world, because like I said, I told myself like I'm too young to be giving up on love, so that's that.
Right.
Kids, yeah, I got
Right.
kids, so it's like me finding this new balance, which is cool for me, because I've come across some dope people where I'm like, you super cool, and it don't always be about a love connection. Sometimes it just end up being like this network where you be like, oh, I
Right.
need my circle, like, okay, I like that. And
Right.
but you still have to be so careful, because I have to constantly remind myself, like, remember, you're still healing, because there's certain things that still triggers me. So
Mm-hmm.
once again, I've learned, if I put too much into somebody's spirit, is most likely going to take it away. That's just me. I've
Yeah.
learned, and it just is what it is. And I had a guy where I really liked him, but like I said I started seeing signs real fast. I said, oh yeah, I can't do this. I can't. So my biggest advice in the dating world is date. Don't you be
Right.
stuck with one person. Have you a Jim, James, and John. Like, and whoever, and be honest. Like,
Yeah.
because you have to date. You have to. It's me relearning what I like. I don't even know what I like. Like, I don't know. Do I
Right.
like them? Do I like them tall? Do I like them? Like, you don't know, and then you end up realizing, like, even that surface stuff don't matter. Like, you
Right.
reach people deeper, and I found myself like, oh, he was never been my type, but his spirit, his soul, like, oh, that's cool.
Right. I
Me.
think dating is about that, giving people
Yeah.
chances that you probably normally wouldn't have even dated. You wouldn't have even had that chemistry. Some of
Um,
the main conversations I have with women is because they're so closed off to dating. It's like you just want to jump into love. You want to jump into marriage. And I understand that because I'm a wife at heart. I'm
I accepted my purpose and the goddess I became.